Hi, Quinn. Bill Rabinowitz from the Columbus Dispatch. You're obviously in Columbus only one semester. What stands out to you about that time and your decision to come and your decision to go? Obviously, CJ Stroud had established himself. I'm sure that was a big reason. But if you could kind of talk about your time here.
Yeah, learned a lot while I was there under, Coach Day and CJ, and just that whole room was awesome to be around, and super thankful for that time that I got to spend there. And like I said, I learned a whole lot. So I don't regret any decision I made on going or anything like that. So, but the main reason I went was I felt like I had a great relationship with the coaching staff, and they were winning a lot of games, and I wanted to go be a part of something like that. And the reason I came back to Texas was one, to be closer to where I'm from and just closer to the resources that I have, and the relationships that I've built over time just being from Texas.
Your next question is going to come from Joe Cook. Joe, go ahead.
Hey Quinn, kind of along those lines, what was one of the biggest tips that you got from CJ, and do you still keep up with him as well now he's not too far from you in Houston?
Yeah, no, we don't keep up that much, but I got one of his receivers that he played with in high school, in Silas Bolden. So we caught up a little bit over that, just talking about Silas. But it's been fun to watch him and as his NFL career, continues and everything. But what I really learned from the guys in that room is really how to be a college quarterback and kind of what it takes to be a college quarterback, from preparing in the film room and taking that on to practice, and then ultimately the game.
Your next question is going to come from Nicole Sheeran. Nicole, go ahead.
Hey Quinn, just kind of going off of that as well. What's it going to be like going up against, your former coach and Ryan Day, but you've also got some of your former teammates. Tyleik Williams called you his guy the other day, and you've got, Mecca Buka, guys like that. So what's that going to be like for you?
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome just to get to see all those guys again. I mean, in the semester that I was there, I feel like I made some pretty good relationships while I was there, and those guys were fun to be around when I was there. They took me in and kind of in a weird time for sure, for as me coming in as kind of in the middle of fall camp, and some of those guys just kind of saying what's up to me. It was simple as that, and kind of welcoming me in, and I felt like I belonged there, and it's gonna be fun to get to see those guys. Me and Jack Sawyer were roommates my freshman year with a couple other guys, so it's gonna be cool to get to see those guys for sure.
Your next question is going to come from Terry Middleton. Terry, go ahead.
Quinn, good afternoon. So I'm curious, from your time here at Texas, do you remember a time when not only Coach Sarkisian, AJ Milwee, the rest of the entire staff and team, when they put their complete and unwavering trust in you as their quarterback, do you remember that time and what was it like?
Well, I mean, sorry, someone say something?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I could tell you my first fall camp here. Obviously I was battling with Hudson Card to earn the starting job, and then towards the end of that, Sark and me had a good conversation where he pretty much told me that it's my job, and I think that was a big step for me, obviously, because it makes things a whole lot easier whenever you do know that you're going to be the quarterback, and especially the starter. It just helps my confidence for sure. And then, in that year, there was definitely some ups and downs. What going on with the injury? We came out the first quarter against Alabama in 2022, and we were rolling as an offense, and I feel like that obviously helped build confidence in me and then everybody around me. And from then on out, it's kind of just built on from then.
Your next question is going to come from Dan Hope. Dan, go ahead.
Hey, Quinn, just wanted to ask, from your time at Ohio State, are there any specific relationships you made with people there that have really stayed strong for you to this day?
Well, I mean, me and Kyle still talk a good amount. I know he's not there anymore, but we talk often, and I mean, I guess it's been a little bit, but to me, those relationships feel like if I'd see him, walking down the side of the road, it'd be like, I was hanging out with him yesterday. I just feel like the relationship that I built there were just they were definitely super special for sure.
Your next question is going to come from Chip Brown. Chip, go ahead.
Quinn, what is a finish to the Peach Bowl like you had 4th and 13, and then turning right around, hitting Gunnar for the touchdown, then hitting Matt for the 2-point conversion? What does that do for your confidence? And as a quarterback, the biggest moment to deliver.
Yeah, I think that's it's awesome for everybody around us and everybody around me. And whenever we had our backs up against the wall for sure in that game. 4th and 13. In a moment we had to have it, and Matt made a great play on a double move, and I think that single play allowed us to regain momentum and go on to win the rest of that game. And it's definitely huge for our confidence, just because being in those type of moments, those gotta have it moments, and coming out with a win is huge.
And what has to happen against Ohio State? What kind of performance does the offense need to have for you all to pull off this win?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to go play our game and execute at a high level, and have first and second down wins that will ultimately lead to shorter third downs and more manageable third downs. And if we're able to do that, then the drive will continue to work down the field. And then, obviously we have to score in the red zone. Field goals, I don't think we'll get it done.
Your next question is going to come from Kurt Bowles. Kurt, go ahead.
Quinn, if you size up the Ohio State defense, and especially your old friend Jack Sawyer, what stands out? What jumps out at you? I know they've had 12 sacks in the last 2 games, so how would you assess them?
Well, I think that they're a really high effort group, and they play super hard, and they're coached really well. And whenever you have coaches like that put the schemes in that they have, and they create mismatches, and they create one-on-ones that they do a good job of maximizing every opportunity that they get. And I think they do a really good job of covering on the back end, and I think they're just a really good overall defense.
Your next question is going to come from Sam Khan. Sam, go ahead.
Hey, Quinn, when you first got to Ohio State, I think it was in the middle of training camp, you'd reclassified. Can you kind of talk about kind of what the motivation was to arrive then and what the challenge was like joining the team at that juncture, kind of in the middle of camp?
Yeah, well, I guess one of the main things was that there was that, I don't know if you guys remember or not, but the Texas legislature wasn't going to allow high school football players to be paid. And, me and my family had a pretty big opportunity in front of us that, we felt that it was a good decision for me to go on and, forego my senior year and enroll early at Ohio State, and, have the opportunity to have some good money, in our pockets as a family. And, sorry, what was the back end of that question?
Just in getting to the team in the middle of camp,
Oh,
I
yeah.
imagine that was a challenge. What was that like?
Yeah, no, it was definitely had to grow up super fast. As fall camp is not easy. And, going from a high school schedule to where, you're practicing after school, whatever it is, practicing before school. And, for me to kind of go in the middle of fall camp and, practice at a college level was definitely a shock for sure. But again, I'm just super thankful for my opportunity that I had up there.
You mentioned your support system here and being closer to that. Was it difficult to be away from them as you kind of went through that transition there and not getting to play as much?
Yeah, it's definitely tough whenever, I've never really been a backup in my life. And, obviously CJ was, very much deserving to be playing for sure. And, I'm a young kid, um, but it's tough whenever you're supposed to be a senior and, you see all your buddies who you grew up with, still playing football. and I'm just sitting obviously because I wasn't prepared to go play a game. I just got in the middle of fall camp, but going back to it, I think again it was just a shock for me to go into going from high school level to college level.
We're going to get a few extra minutes with Quinn, and we're going to get in as many questions as we can, but not all of them. Next one is going to come from Danny Davis. Go ahead.
Hey, Quinn, now that you've had a chance to kind of look over the film and reflect on it, what stands out about that 4th and 13 play, and where does that kind of rank on your personal favorite plays of your time in Texas?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely up there for sure, but I don't even think I watched it on film, to be honest with you. We were straight to Ohio State.
Your next question is going to come from Donovan Bridgeforth. Go ahead.
Hey, Quinn, Donovan Bridgeforth, TXA and 24 News. What do you think will be the key to setting the tone early against Ohio State? And how important is it to get a fast start in a game of this magnitude? And can you kind of tell me about like the chemistry, how you were talking about earlier of the offense and how that'll play into the execution?
Yeah, well, I think if we go out and just play our game, get completions early, and just continue to have first and second down wins, I think we'll be in a good spot to where we want to. Whenever Sark wants to call those shots downfield, we'll be in a good enough spot to where he's comfortable enough to call those shots or whatever it is. And the chemistry off the field definitely helps on the field for sure, because just the relationship and the rapport that we've all built together carries on to the field. We want to play for each other. We want to play the guy to our right and our left. It just adds that extra motivation if it's needed.
We got time for 2 more questions for Quinn. First is going to come from Eric Henry. Go ahead, Eric.
Good afternoon, Quinn. Just want to revisit that 4th and 14. We spoke with Matt after the game, and he said that you were kind of the calming presence in the huddle. I'm just curious, how important is it for you as the quarterback to be that calming presence? Not, no disrespect to Jake or Kelvin or guys like that who obviously are great players, but how important is it for you as the quarterback to be that calming presence for everybody?
Yeah, I think that's huge for the quarterback to be that guy who's going to be calm within the storm and just a guy to kind of rely on. And I picture it as when I see a receiver, an O-lineman, a running back, tight end look at me, I want them to see the calmness and hear the calmness in my voice, and just see like, oh, he's calm, like we got this, we're good. If he's comfortable, I'm going to be comfortable, and I just want to be that guy that. Just kind of that example for other guys who, might be a little nervous for the situation or for the moment, but it's the guys that make the plays around me.
Your final question is going to come from Joey Kaufman. Go ahead, Joey.
When, as far as the things you learned in your semester at Ohio State, is there anything specifically or anything that's carry over from your time under Coach Day that you feel like was a good habit or something you learned about football or just life that's carried over?
Yeah, well, I mean, going back to it again, I think that they did a really good job of preparing from week to week, and that's like the first time that I really got to see it firsthand at this level, how to watch film and how to prepare for the game, for the upcoming game. And because obviously it's different from the high school level, and getting to see that firsthand, I think was awesome for me.
Good afternoon, Gunnar. I just asked this to Quinn earlier, would love your perspective. As an offensive player, how crucial is it that Quinn is that calming presence for you guys? I mean, no disrespect to guys like Kelvin or Jake or veterans like yourself, who obviously are all talented players, but how crucial is it to have that quarterback be the calming presence for you guys throughout the games?
Yeah, I mean, just obviously as our, front runner leader on the offensive side of the ball. He's the one that leads us, gets the play going, and just see him calm definitely calms our nerves a little bit. Just as we're driving, if things aren't going well, if things are good, he keeps us in a good headspace. If things might not be going too good, keep going 3-0, keeps us in a good headspace. Just keeps encouraging us. So obviously, yeah, very effective to have him on our side.
Your next question is going to come from Westcott Elberts. Go ahead.
Hey Gunnar, I was wondering if you could take us through that score on the first play of second overtime. What's that route that you're running? Have you guys run that play before? And how do you have to really sell that at the line of scrimmage that you're blocking?
Yeah, we run a lot of slider and I guess gap area protection. So we ran it last year against Iowa State, and I scored on the same play. But essentially, I fake that I'm sliding down in protection and then leak out the back door. It's been pretty effective. And the National Football League this year and a lot of other colleges, I think Boise State ran a version of it against Penn State. So we knew it was going to be a good call. It's been in the entire season. I think we tried to run it against Michigan and got shot down. But then as soon as we called that one, I was pretty confident that I was going to be able to make a play.
Thanks, Gunnar.
Your next question is going to come from Noah Gross.
Afternoon, Gunnar. You talked a lot about your journey at Texas, why you committed to UT and committing to the school. In this playoff where you get to play these massive games, do you take moments to appreciate it while you're in it? And what are those moments like for you?
Yeah, I mean, coming to a school like Texas, Coach Sark alluded to it today. We're built for games like this. We play in a lot of games like this in front of a lot of people in big stadiums on big stages. So, I think that I'm pretty used to it at this point. But early on in my career, it was definitely really eye-opening. Not playing at a huge Texas high school football program. A pretty big program coming out of the state of Colorado, still the biggest one in Colorado, the best one in Colorado. But I would just say that, try to take a moment just to reflect back in the next years, just where I was as a player.
Your next question is going to come from Chip Brown.
Hey, Gunnar. How's this team handling being the underdog, playing in the state of Texas? And what's been the messaging from Sark this week?
Yeah, just being where our feet are. Honing back in our details. Obviously we're trusting that our fans are going to come out and make an appearance, especially being up in Dallas, just up the road. So we feel like we have the advantage in that aspect. But I think we're really dangerous as underdogs. We've been underdogs for a lot of big games my early years here, such as Alabama at home, and then obviously Alabama on the road in a really tough environment in Tuscaloosa. So I think underdogs, the aspect of that makes you really dangerous as a team. But it's just another game for us. We're preparing the same way as we would.
Your next question is going to come from Kurt Bowles. Go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, we've all talked about Quinn, his composure and how calm he is. You've known him for a good while. What makes him nervous? Is it like public speaking, going to the dentist? Do you ever see him get nervous?
Guess the only way I can answer that is sure as heck isn't football. Because every time I see him, I would be pretty shell shocked as a quarterback, thinking back in it. He's been the most level-headed that there is on the field. So, he carries himself really well. Off the field. I don't really have an answer for you on that one. I have no idea what makes him nervous.
Your next question is going to come from Josh Newman. Go ahead, Josh.
Hey, Gunnar. As your time in Texas starts to come to an end here, is there something to be said for the fact that you are leaving this program in a much better place than when you showed up?
Yes. Yeah. When I showed up, I think we had a 2.7 team GPA. Obviously we went 5-7, no bowl game, horrible culture. Nobody here wanted to be here. And then, just kind of built on that as I've gone on through the years. Next year, I think we had a 2.9, 8-5, lose the bowl game, however many draft picks. And then the next year, 11-2 or whatever it was, get to the biggest stage, however many draft picks, maybe 3.0 GPA, team GPA. And now this year, obviously being where we are, I think we have a 3.2 team GPA. Culture is stronger than it's ever been. And coming down the way, who knows how many draft picks. So obviously Coach Sark and the rest of the coaching staff has done a spectacular job setting the standard for this team. And just this team buying into that standard and setting the groundwork and building upon itself each year.
Your next question is going to come from Terry Middleton.
Gunnar, good afternoon. So I'm just curious, you're known as Mr. Reliable, right? They always find you maybe when the run's not happening or the passes aren't dropping. Let's get it to Gunnar, you score a touchdown or make yardage. So I'm curious, as the game is going on, are you communicating with either Quinn or Sark that says, hey, I think I'm open here. You might want to, look at this coverage that I'm getting because I think I can make a difference? Or is it something that's pre-scripted and they're going to go to you when they need to?
A little bit of both. It's not so much as they're going to go to me when they need me, but I think you put the ball in your best opportunity to win, the best player's hands when you need it the most. And we have a lot of really good players. There's not, one or two that are just the best players. So I think that's the diversity of our team, of our offense. We got a lot of explosiveness. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a little bit pre-scripted, but it's just the flow of the game. Part of our job as a player, just to, keep the connection from, us to Coach Sark to Quinn going, is coming off the field and telling, maybe Coach Banks or Coach Cutter or Coach Sark, just the looks that we're seeing. And, it's their job to scheme up the best place possible, and they do a great job of it.
All right, we're going to get you out here on this last question from Andrew Gillis.
Gunnar, when you look at Ohio State's defense, obviously Caleb Downs is a big part of that. How difficult is he to prepare for? And, what changes for you guys when you have a guy that can play, deep safety, he can play down towards the line of scrimmage, he can play almost a middle linebacker. What kind of challenge is he for you guys this week?
Yeah, huge challenge. Heck of a player, can fit the run, very physical and fitting the run. Obviously one of the best in pass protection in the country, or pass coverage in the country. So yeah, we got our hands full with not only just him, but the linebackers. They feel real hard. They're very physical. Their front, so obviously their front's an NFL front. And their secondary is obviously an NFL secondary. It's just an NFL defense as a whole, NFL scheme. So we got our hands full. It's going to be a really tough challenge, and it's probably the best we've seen.
We're going to squeeze one more in real quick from Jeff Jones.
Appreciate you. Gunnar, a moment ago when you were talking about the shift in culture and leaving the program in a better place, you knew the GPA, the team GPA each year. What's that correlation in your mind between team GPA and on-field success? And has that always been important to you, or did somebody push that stat to the front of your mind?
Yeah, no, Coach Sark says it all the time. It's your three gears of life. So your personal life, your school life, and your football life. And if everything's going great, then all the gears are twisting themselves. But if you get something jammed up, maybe you fail a test, maybe one of your grades drop, then if that's on the front of your mind, then you start to do poorly on the football field. Then maybe your personal life isn't going quite as well, or the other way around. Maybe something gets jammed up in your personal life. You're hanging out with the wrong group of people, you get in trouble. Then the on-field stuff, maybe you get benched. Then you're thinking about that. Then you fail a test. Or another way around it, you're on the field, you're busting assignments, maybe you get benched, then you start to not really care, then you don't go to school, then you start failing, then you become ineligible. So it's a snowball effect from all three aspects, but that's something that's pressed upon us in the off season. And yeah, it's part of our culture to have success off the field as well, especially in the classroom, especially at a school like Texas. So I think Coach Sark has done a tremendous job with that.
Kelvin, a moment ago, Jake was here and he told us that everybody showed up the day after the Arizona State game with a chip on their shoulder, determined to get the run game back. Could you feel that? And if so, what gives you confidence? What have you seen over the past few days that leads you to believe it's back?
Yeah, like you said, we didn't put our best foot forward in that game, and the biggest thing Coach Sark wanted us to kind of emphasize was the run game, and I feel like we didn't do that. So we definitely had a chip on our shoulder for sure, because I know we're better than what we showed on that field. So it definitely gave us a sense of wanting to go out and practice and do better. So we've been doing that. We've been executing very well in practice. We've been kind of just showing we're locked in and focused on the game plan.
Next question is going to come from Dan Hope. Dan, go ahead.
Hey, Kelvin, Ohio State had 8 sacks in its last game. Just what stands out to you when you watch the film about their pass rush?
Yeah, just physical rushers. Not one of their guys take a play off. They give maximum effort every time. So just guys who are gonna put their best foot forward for their team and give maximum effort for you. So I'll say that kind of just sums up their rushers in one word.
Your next question is going to come from Bill Rabinowitz. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, Kelvin, a very similar question, just specifically about Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau. What makes them so tough to go against, and what kind of challenge is that for you?
Yeah, they're great rushers. Like I said, they like to press the pocket very well. They can they have a high motor, so it's not like you're gonna block them and then they stop and not try to chase the quarterback. They do all that. They have good counter moves to give you if the first move don't work. So they're just high motor rushers and just me being locked in on the techniques that Coach Flood has taught me to make sure I do my best to block those two guys.
Your next question is going to come from Corey Mose. Go ahead, Corey.
Hey, Kelvin, how you doing? Just wanted to ask about the heart of a champion, right? That was a conversation before the Georgia game. Y'all described the Bulldogs as that. And so I'm wondering, after the Arizona State matchup, do you feel like that was y'all's heart of a champion moment?
Oh yeah, sir. You can say that because like I said before, we didn't kind of come out there and put our best foot forward as a team. We felt like we left a lot out there on the table that you want to get back, but at the end of the day, you can't. The game is a game and it happens, but it definitely shows the heart that we have as a team to go out there and no matter the adversity that we faced in those moments, we came out and pulled through at the end.
Your next question is going to come from Chip Brown. Go ahead, Chip.
Kelvin, the last time you all were underdogs was going to Alabama last year. Do you get the same sense of resolve amongst your teammates, knowing that you're the team that's being counted out in this game?
I mean, you can say so, yeah. Anytime I feel like anytime any football team is counted out and going into a game, it definitely puts a chip on their shoulder to want to go out there and prove people wrong. But at the end of the day, we treat every week the same. We kind of come in there every week with the same mindset. We try to make sure we have that same mentality of going out there and want to go dominate, no matter if we're the favorite team or if we're not.
Your next question is going to come from Kurt Bowles. Go ahead, Kurt.
Hey, Kelvin, Bert Auburn's struggled a little bit with his kicking. What's going on with him since the Peach Bowl, and how do you get his confidence back?
I mean, that's kind of it's not a kind of a question for me. It's kind of a question for Coach Banks. But Bert's been himself. I mean, he's been himself. I don't think any athlete. People go through slumps. I mean, I've had slumps before where stuff happens. You kind of just got to move on from it and just brush off. But Bert, he's been doing fine. He's been doing good in practice, and you know what I'm saying. His confidence doesn't like his went away at all. So we trust him as a team, and we believe in his ability to go out there and make field goals.
Your next question is going to come from Terry Middleton. Go ahead, Terry.
Calvin, so as a team, you guys throughout the whole entire season have always, every game you try to get better, fix the mistakes, and so on. Against Clemson, you guys had 2 penalties. Coach Sarkisian talked about that was a result of a come to Jesus meeting. But I'm just curious, how do you guys go into practice? Like, for example, this week, you guys are self-motivated. You probably need a come to Jesus meeting, but how are you guys working on that aspect of the game to lessen or refine not as many penalties?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of starts up front with the O-line, if you want to be honest. Pre-snap penalties and stuff like that. That's stuff that puts you behind the sticks and kind of makes it harder for you to go out there and go score and put drives together. So things like that just has to stop. I mean, it's stuff we learn, we do in practice, where we get in practice. We don't have the same mistakes. So it's just that moment of staying calm, being calm in the field of play and just understanding what your job is and not kind of getting too overexcited or too over emotional, because that's when you start having pre-snap penalties as such.
Your next question is from Kurt Bowles.
Yeah, I was just curious about the mindset of the team. Did the way y'all win bolster your confidence, or blowing the 16-point lead hurt your confidence? How'd y'all react to those?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it hurt our confidence at all. We understood, kind of understanding what we did during that game, and just at the end of the day, you're here for a reason. Arizona State was here for a reason, so we kind of just go in there and think we're gonna play our best game. But obviously, no game is gonna be perfect. So we go in, we win. Okay, now it's time to go back and fix the mistakes. So at the end of the day, we just gotta look at that and learn from those mistakes, and then bring it to the next game.
All right. If you have, Kurt, do you have a follow-up question?
No, I'm good.
Thank you. Our next question is going to come from Chip Brown.
Hey, Kelvin, what does it mean to this team to be playing this game in the state of Texas, just rolling up I-35?
Yeah, it means a lot. It means a lot to us, especially just because it's kind of like you're playing a home game in a sense. Kind of just want to defend your state, just defend the state of Texas itself. Just going in there and knowing like, hey, you don't have to travel far. Kind of like in your backyard. So it means a lot to us, and just we want to go out here and execute and just play hard for our fans and play hard for our teammates.
And the last time you were in Jerry World, it was for the Big 12 championship. So, any good vibes from that?
Yeah, you can say so. It's always a good vibe when you go into a stadium that you've won in before.
All right, we still got a couple more questions for you, Kelvin. Hang in with us. Jeff Howe is your next question. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, Kelvin, I just wondered for you personally, what have the last, kind of 6 weeks, I guess, been like from, dealing with the injury against A&M, and then you got the award circuit, then you're right back into the playoff, and now you're into January and the semifinals. Just kind of how this whole whirlwind for you this last 6 weeks been.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. Kind of some highs, some lows, but at the end of the day, you just got to kind of focus on what you have going on at the moment, and that was kind of the team in that point. People go through stuff. Not everybody around this time is 100% healthy, so you just got to have that in the back of your mind going into the game and just understanding you win these awards, but the big goal is definitely to win a national championship for a team. The awards are great, but at the end of the day, I feel like when you win collectively as a team, it means a whole lot more.
Next question is going to come from Corey Most. Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, Kelvin, going back to that conversation about playing at AT&T Stadium and then, just playing in Mercedes-Benz twice now, what are the benefits of playing these big games in stadiums that y'all all are familiar with?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of benefits. Kind of you just being used to the atmosphere, you being used to what it will sound like when the stadium is packed, how the turf feels, just different things like that that not many people may think impacts you or may impact you going to the game. But it's definitely something that you kind of have in the back of your mind, and just it's a good thing to kind of have that opportunity to have been played in the stadium before, not going into a new environment.
Right. I think we got one more for you. Yes, we do. One more for you from Andrew Gillis.
When you look at Ohio State's defense, obviously they're very talented, but their offense has jumped on teams pretty quick. What do you guys have to do to stay on script offensively to kind of avoid that hole that their offense can put you guys' defense in?
Yeah, just to win on first and second downs. I feel like that's the biggest thing for us right now is winning on first and second downs, like not getting behind the sticks early on in the downs. That kind of helps us out by staying on the field to help the defense out as well by getting their rest and things like that. So just making sure we stay in front of the sticks on schedule and just having that mentality of wanting to run the ball as well. So I feel like if we get all that stuff worked out, I feel like we'll do pretty good.
Hey, Jake, how similar or different is Ohio State's defensive front to Georgia?
Good question. I would just say that they're very big up front. They kind of replicate SEC front. Very talented linebackers, very sound secondary. So for us, it's we just got to own our game plan and trust our techniques to put us in the right position against these guys.
Our next question is going to come from Noah Gross.
Hey, Jake, this game, everything it means being, half hour or so from all the guys in DFW. For you personally, what's the best part about playing this game so close to home?
Yeah, like you said, just playing close to home. I grew up in Prosper, which is about an hour away from Arlington. So to know that, it'll be an easy transition for my parents and my girlfriend's family and stuff like that, it means a lot, close for my extended family to come from West Texas. So just excited to be able to stay in the great state of Texas and play a football game at AT&T Stadium. I'm a Cowboys fan, so means a lot more to me because I'm a big Cowboys fan. So
Your next question is going to come from Josh Newman. Josh, go ahead.
Hey, Jake, just given where the program was when you first arrived to where it is now, is there a sense of pride that you are leaving the program in much better shape than what you found it?
Yeah, I'm happy to be a part of it, man. When I first committed to UT, I've said this a good bit, and I'll say it again. My commitment wasn't just to, for my personal well-being. It was to bring Texas back to where it belonged, in the early 2000s. So to say that I've been a part of this journey for Texas has been a true blessing. All glory to God for being here, being in this exact moment, getting ready to prepare for a historic game like the Cotton Bowl. And all credit to Coach Sark as well, because without him, he wouldn't have set the blueprint, the foundation for this program.
Your next question is going to come from Kurt Bowles. Kurt, go ahead.
Jake, obviously you guys on offense have really jumped out to fast starts, against Clemson and again Arizona State. How much do you need that same sense of urgency, given how Ohio State is playing loose and confident and scoring a ton of points?
I think everybody's objective is to come out swinging and come out fast and have a hot start. But like you said, it's very important. Ohio State's playing really good football right now. And, if we want a chance, we got to match that and exceed that. So we got to put our best foot forward and come out swinging and, come out fast.
Your next question is going to come from Brian Davis. Go ahead.
Hey, Jake, just real quick, I wanted to ask about 4th and 13 against Arizona State. When those guys were creeping to the line, how much of that did you see, or was that all Quinn seeing that, or what's your vantage point and take on that whole play?
Yeah, for me, it was easy for me to see, and I was about ready to turn around and tell Quinn, hold up, but he saw it just in time. Total experience, veteran play from Quinn, just to recognize all the tips and traits of cover zero blitz and to get us in the right protection to be able to convert on that 4th down.
Your next question is going to come from Terry Middleton. Terry, go ahead.
Jake, so from your football mind, and when you look at the Ohio State defense, is there anything that they do that you guys have to adjust for in this week of practice, or is it a standard? They're coming at you with the bulls. Are they going to throw anything at you that scheme at you that you haven't seen before?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd say that they have a very unique style of defense. And like everybody we've played this year, they're really good at what they do. And so for us, it's just recognizing tendencies, what blitzes match with what coverage, and then just to know, what are we going to do to match that? But like you said, their defense is who they are, and so we just gotta prepare the right way to match it.
We're gonna get a couple, 3 more in for you here. First from Jeff Jones. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Jake, I'm just wondering what gives you confidence that the run game is going to look more like what we saw against Clemson than what we've seen in some other recent games against Georgia and Arizona State?
Yeah, I would just say that we as an offense, the running back room, the tight end room, the O-line room, we know what we're capable of, and what we put on film is not our best, and so we kind of have a chip on our shoulder with that, and we understand that there are high expectations and we got to meet those expectations. We were frustrated, but at the end of the day, we were able to win. But what we did wasn't good enough to our standard. So everybody kind of, that next day we were kind of walking around with a chip on our shoulder,
ready to get back to work and get this run game going.
Your next question is going to come from Jeff Howe. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, Jake, I know you talked about Ohio State defensively a minute ago, but you faced Jim Knowles, DC, when he was at Oklahoma State in 21. I know it's been a minute since that game, but is there anything that you go back to from that study that looks similar to what Ohio State's doing now, or is it just, is it pretty drastically different from what you remember?
I think there are some similarities from what I can remember. I mean, like you said, it's been a while.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just a completely new defense, just because of his personnel and the type of players he has at Ohio State, and so that allows him to play call differently and stuff like that. And for us, it's all about recognizing what's in front of us and then executing at a high level.
Just a couple more for you. David Eckert.
Hey, Jake. Appreciate the time. Coach Sark has kind of let us in on it the last couple of weeks, with the 4th and 13 and I guess audibling to a couple of runs for Jaden Blue that ended in touchdowns on Quinn's part against Clemson. I guess I'm just curious. What I'm asking is, how much does Quinn do that we can't see? Because we know about it when we're let in on it, but I'm just interested in your perspective on that.
Yeah, there's a lot that Quinn does, whether that's audibling routes, protections, stuff like that. There's been a lot of plays that go unnoticed where he's getting us into a slide that ended up picking up a boundary blitz that got us a first down that nobody talks about. So stuff like that, you guys may never see it. It may seem like a routine play, but to us, that's Quinn doing his job, being a veteran quarterback and leading this team by executing at a high level. So, like you said, those runs against Clemson and protections against Arizona State, those are just some things of Quinn that, really stick out when it comes to recognizing the defense and putting this offense into the best scenario.
Next question is going to come from Thomas Jones.
Jake, all-time favorite Cowboy, and who are some NFL centers you like to watch play?
I love this question. This is awesome. Okay. All-time favorite Cowboys. So I grew up in the Tony Romo era. So that's kind of my all-time favorite. Tony Romo, Travis Frederick, one of my favorite centers of all time. Also Dak Prescott from his rookie year. He got hurt, which sucks, but those are kind of my top Cowboys. Dez Bryant, honorable mention, just because he was one of the best receivers during that time I was watching him. And centers, playing right now that I really like watching, probably Cam Jurgens for the Eagles. I just love the way he pulls. I love his mentality and everything that he does. Who else? It's my favorite. Tyler Biadasz with the Commanders. I just love the way he plays. And another one would be Creed Humphrey. He's the only other lefty, probably the only lefty in the NFL right now, which, there's not many of us, but as a lefty, you can appreciate someone like that who's playing at a high level.
Hey, Matthew. Whether it's you and Isaiah this year or Adonai last year, last couple of years, these transfer receivers have come in and immediately kind of built a rapport with Quinn in this offense. I'm kind of wondering, why do you think that is? Is it Quinn? Is it the culture? Is it just God-given talent and cream rising to the top? Why do you think that is?
I would just say it's the culture they have here at the University of Texas, just the foundation and, the coaching staff at that, just coming in and staying down and, just asking questions about like how to bring your game to the next level, just being in this offense, it's changed a lot. And, it's helped me develop my game to the next level. So, I appreciate Coach Jackson and Coach Sark for, allowing me to bring my talents here. They've helped me a lot.
Your next question is going to come from Chip Brown. Go ahead.
Hey, Matt. Andrew Makuba said that this year for him has kind of been like a movie. So I kind of want to get your take on how you think this year has been for you, from when you first got here to where you are now and how it's fit with your expectations?
Yeah. It's been a blessing to be able to play for this university. Just everything that had happened. Just waiting my turn. And I feel like just me coming here. It was a no brainer. I didn't want to go too far from home, so just coming here and just being able to play with the guys. Just the adversity we faced throughout the season. Just staying together and staying as one team. I feel like as a team, we're right where we need to be, and I mean, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
And
The
how
next
how can that 4th and 13 play catapult this offense?
I mean, like I don't feel like none of us was ready to go home. So I feel like the football God was on our side, just for that one play, just knowing that we weren't ready for our season to end. So just being able to capitalize on that play and keep the season going, it's a blessing.
Your next question is going to come from Brian Davis. Go ahead.
Hey Matt, does the 4th and 13 play have a name?
I ain't came up with a name yet.
So was it just a straight adjustment at the line? Is that really all there is to
Quinn,
it?
yeah. Quinn checked the protection. The play that we had called. It was a cover 2 beater. The safety played a little bit high. I stuck the corner and the O line gave Quinn good enough time. Just to deliver a perfect ball for me to come down with and grab. So, congrats to us on the win. But I feel like as a whole offense, we still got to go back to the drawing board and just fix the small details to be more successful in this game.
The next question is going to come from Sam Khan. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Matthew, you wanted to ask about your move to go to Texas. Like when you entered the portal, what was the thing about Texas that attracted you, that made you want to go there? And what did you learn about this program in your time here so far?
Just knowing that you got to be able to block playing in this offense. It's a balanced offense. I seen Xavier Worthy and Adonai Mitchell here before me. I seen what they did with receivers. So, just knowing the history that they did with receivers, it was a no-brainer just to come here. So me being able to come and play in this offense, like I said, this helped me develop my game to the next level. So just being able to play in a pro-style offenses, it'll get you ready for the next level or whatever you decide you want to do with your opportunities here.
Your next question is going to come from Bill Rabinowitz. Bill, go ahead.
Hi, Matthew. Bill Rabinowitz from the Columbus Dispatch. Could you kind of describe the challenge that you and the other Texas receivers are going to face in going against Davis Igbinosun and Denzel Burke and really the safeties as well?
Just knowing that we're gonna play a good defense. We know it's gonna be a 60-minute battle. So just going out there as one team as an offense. Focusing on the small details and just taking it one play at a time. So just going out there and executing, doing everything we need to do as an offense, and just letting the rest unfold itself.
Your next question is going to come from Kurt Bowles.
Matthew, I know you're not going up against Jeremiah Smith on the field, but what do you think of him? And does his presence motivate you to go out there and match his performance?
Yeah, just him being young and him playing at the level he's playing at, it's different, man. I mean, congrats to him, for having the season that he's having. I see from Twitter and stuff like that he looks like he's a well-rounded guy, on and off the field. He carries himself like a pro. So, just being able to get that matchup against him and the defense that they bring, I'm looking forward to it, and I think the rest of our team are too.
Your next question is going to come from Danny Davis.
Matthew, as a whole, how would you assess how special teams have gone at Texas? Kickoff return, punt return, the kicking game with Bird struggling a little bit. How would you assess special teams as a whole this season?
I feel like special teams changes games. It brings a lot of energy. Changing possessions or anything like that. Just being able to capitalize on the special team side. It makes a lot of things easier. So just knowing that whenever we get that opportunity to capitalize on special teams, we got to take full accountability for it. So with Bert, we stay on Bert. He and nobody's perfect. So you just knowing, just being there for him and telling him, you know, you're gonna get another opportunity. So just being able to capitalize off that and, you know, not reflect off the past. So just being there for him, and then special team wise, just going out there and taking accountability for you know, any opportunity that we get.
Your next question is going to come from Terry Middleton. Go ahead, Terry.
Matthew, aside from the practices and the drills and stuff, going over the game plan, has Coach Jackson and or Coach Sarkisian sat down with you individually or maybe as a team and said, okay, guys, we have 2 more battles. It's important to remain calm, rely on your skill set, rely on your training, but to kind of get you in a focused sense of maybe, you know, mentally getting you in that spot. Have they sat down with you guys, talked to you about that?
Yeah, they've definitely talked to us about it. You know, just looking at the matchup that we're going against. You know, uh, like I said, we're playing a good team. You know, 2 good teams playing against each other. So, you know, just knowing down, like when games come like this, you got to be locked in on the small details as a team, and you know, play as one unit. So, just knowing that we get this opportunity, and you know, we're gonna take full accountability for it. So, I feel like we're right where we need to be as a team. And, you know, we're just gonna stay locked in as one.
We're going to close you out with 2 questions. First one's going to come from Corey Most. Corey, go ahead.
What's up, Matt? Just wanted to go back to your comments about how this program has helped out your game and improved your game.
Yeah.
Can you just pull behind the curtain a little bit and let us know what about your game has improved, and also how much has Coach Jackson's NFL experience played a factor in that?
Yeah, you know, he's helped me tremendously, you know, just talking off the field stuff, you know, just reading defenses and just route details in general, you know, just knowing that, you know, in this type of offense, you got to be able to be in the zones, know when they're playing zone, know when they're playing man. So just knowing that you got to be there at the right time for the quarterback, and you know, you got to be at the right depth, whatever route it is, you know, whatever concept, you know, you just got to go out there, and you know, you got to be locked in with the small details and do your job. So I feel like, I mean, coming here and just having the foundation that we have here, you know, it's helped me in a long way.
You got a final question, follow up from Kurt Bowles.
Yeah, I was curious if you have any frustration as a kick returner. I know you had a couple for touchdowns at Houston, and you don't get to return that many. And now that Silas got his,
Yeah.
are you itching to contribute there?
Yeah, you know, it's definitely making me hungry. You know, it's good to see one of my guys eat. You know, I'm a competitor, so me and Silas joke off the field who was gonna get the first punt return or kick return. You know, he got it, so I'm just trying to match his energy. So you know, just waiting for my opportunity to come, and you know, whenever it comes, I'm gonna take it, man, and I'm not looking back.